In the modern world, the attitude towards bears, particularly grizzly bears, is often biased and one-sided due to portrayals in movies. Many consider these lumbering creatures to be born killers, capable of bringing only evil and suffering. However, there are instances when bears appear in a different light, which fundamentally contrasts with the majority opinion. In our story, the main character came to realize that not all bears are ruthless predators who, due to low intelligence, cannot remember good or evil. It happened in the northwestern part of the American state of Wyoming. In the forests of this wonderful area, a young tourist went missing. Her friend reported the disappearance, extremely worried about her 2-day absence. Search teams of rangers and rescuers were tirelessly combing the area, square by square. The searchers were astonished when they found the girl not just anywhere, but in a bear's den. Moreover, there were no scratches on her body, and she did not appear frightened or confused at all. Nearby, fresh bear tracks were discovered, suggesting that the bear's owner was wandering somewhere close by. What the girl recounted shortly after left the searchers in shock. According to her, the aforementioned bear had saved her from an attack by her unfaithful husband, who had concocted a treacherous plan. The situation was that the girl's husband had suggested they take a trip into the woods to enjoy the pleasant emotions of a walk. But after the couple ventured deeper into the forest, the man attacked his wife. The missing tourist had recently become a wealthy heiress, receiving millions after her parents died in a car accident. This is why her husband's mind had become clouded, driving him to commit a crime for the sake of inheritance. Fortunately, the scoundrel was thwarted because a huge grizzly bear came to the girl's defense. It is difficult to say where the predator appeared from, but there was no doubt that his intervention saved the tourist's life. Frightened by the enormous bear, the tourist's husband chose to flee and quickly disappeared into the nearest thicket. The most astonishing thing was that the grizzly showed no aggression towards the girl. The huge bear rubbed its face against her hand and behaved as if it already knew her. As twilight approached, the girl had to spend the night in the bear's den, while the predator roamed nearby. The tourist spent about 2 days in the den before rescuers found her. Following the report of the attack, her husband was detained within an hour and taken into custody. Everyone was concerned about one question: what was the mystery behind the bear's gentle attitude towards the human? Fortunately, the rescued girl knew the answer to this question. As it turned out, 7 years ago, she had visited these areas with her grandfather, who had worked for a long time in a ranger unit protecting the forest and its inhabitants. One time, the man had saved a bear cub whose mother had been shot by poachers. The man and his 17-year-old granddaughter raised the cub and even named him Teddy. After the bear cub grew strong and healthy, he escaped from the ranger's home, frightened by the barking of a neighbor's dog that had broken free. At that time, the ranger and his granddaughter thought the bear cub had perished in the woods, but as the events of the past 2 days showed, their conclusions were mistaken. Of course, one could question whether the bear saved by the ranger 7 years ago was indeed the unwitting savior of the wealthy heiress. This debate could go on endlessly, whether this bear is the same or not. But one thing is certain: bears, just like humans, remember both good and evil equally well, and thus will always repay a person in kind.